Nintendo revitalised this series probably because of the popularity of Marvel at the moment, but does it hold up to the older titles? Let's take a look. For me, the biggest selling point of this game is playing it with friends and family. Gaming as it is missing a massive chunk of couch co-ops, I think people would call them. Just gathering up with a group of friends, sitting down in the same room, chatting, having a drink, food whilst you're playing a game. This is the perfect game for that. If you're a Marvel fan, you're going to love this game no matter what. I heard some people saying rewards such as costumes and stuff isn't good enough for the time you spend on it. I've got to disagree. As a Marvel fan, you want to see these alternate costumes. Like these, as silly as it sounds, some of these costumes mean a lot to people. Like they've read a certain story, they want a certain character, they want a certain version of that character. And that's what this game offers really well. There's a lot of customization. There's a lot of character choice. There's so many options. There's so many smaller character names that you probably wouldn't expect in the game. So for any Marvel fans, anyone like me that played Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, X-Men Legends, there's going to be a lot of nostalgia for this, and you're probably going to want to play with those friends or family that you completed those other games with. This is exactly what I'm going to be doing. When I play through it, it's going to be with friends that we played through all the other games together. And that's one of the biggest selling points of this for me. If the people that played it at E3 and reviewers that had hands-on experience before were to be believed, the game wasn't that fun. It was kind of repetitive. There wasn't a lot of draw to keep playing. But now it's finally released, I've had my chance to get my hands on it, and I can say all of that is rubbish. The gameplay is fun, and there's enough combinations with abilities and other characters that keep you coming back for more. You have the light and heavy attack, and then you have your 4 specials and your extreme. There's so many ways you can fight. Flying, or characters that can swing like Spider-Man, have the edge because they do have extra abilities when they're in the air. They're also able to dodge ground attacks, so there is some imbalance within the characters, but thankfully for me, Spider-Man's one of my favourites, so I don't mind this too much. I don't want to spoil things too much, I'm going to try and focus on the first few chapters. If you do want to watch more and see the whole story unfold, I will be doing gameplay videos, so click here to see the first gameplay. Make sure you're subscribed for the others. Where the game really shines for me is the cutscenes, which is kind of surprising. This was always all about gameplay for me, and I didn't think the story would be that heavy. But as it turns out, it's one of the things driving me to finish the game. We begin the story with the Guardians of the Galaxy unknowingly retrieving the Infinity Stones. Obviously this doesn't go to plan, and they end up spread across the universe. I'm not going to explain where because I feel like another thing this game does really well is surprise you with unique and lesser known villains. So I'd rather you play through the game and come into contact with them yourself or watch somebody play through it. But I feel it's a journey you should experience one of those ways. Since I'm showing footage from my first chapter, I will explain some of that so I have something I can tell you about. Boss battles are unique, so it's not always just attacking. You will need to dodge, especially on the higher difficulties. This game reminds me of Marvel Heroes in the way you have to dodge abilities or you could be KO'd. Also in fights, there could be things where you need to dodge being dropped on you or shot at you, so there's techniques and strategies built in as well as just mashing buttons. But don't get me wrong, the mashing the buttons is a ton of fun. There's so many different abilities and combinations like I've said, so many different characters to try out. If you're like me, you're probably going to pick your 4 favourite and then stick with them. But I don't think that's a bad thing. As you progress, you unlock more and more characters and ways to level up and learn new skills. Now this is one of the areas the game doesn't work for me. I don't like how you level up skills or the alliance tree or anything like that. I feel like they probably did this better in previous games and should have stuck with that. But this is only a minor gripe, and I wouldn't say this is the worst thing about the game. There's one thing worse, and by no means do I think this is a bad game, but I should point out the bad areas as well as the good. So for me, the camera is the biggest issue. Whether that's in multiplayer and it zoomed out so far if you're playing on the same console, or whether that's even just single player and the camera can get caught around corners, or if you watch this clip here when I'm running through the cells, the camera's constantly getting caught. I can't manage to turn it. So I think that was the biggest issue for me. And obviously you want to follow your characters, you want it to look good whilst you're playing, you want it to feel like the films or cartoons. So it did bring me out of the game slightly, so this was a massive down for me. But the fact they're the only 2 downs for me for this game, I would say this is a definite pickup, especially the fact it's a Nintendo Switch exclusive. I think it's amazing that they've gone out and picked this game up themselves. It's definitely a game we wanted. It's been probably the better part of a decade since we had one. So super hyped to play this and so glad I got the chance. I would have to say this is a recommendation. There's no other way to put it. It's a definite pickup. I would say pick it up now. The only thing that might bite you is there is DLC coming, which is Marvel Knights, Fantastic Four, X-Men, and one more unknown. So if your favourite characters are inside those DLCs, that's going to sting a little because the DLC annual pass is £18, which is a little over the top considering you probably paid £50 for the game. You're looking at almost £70 in total. It shouldn't be that much. What really annoys me is I'm probably still going to buy it. But Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 brings together all the best aspects of the Marvel Universe and the game universe and previous titles. For me, I would say these are some of the best boss battles we've ever had. There's a lot more tactic than usual. It's not just stood around mashing one button. You need to dodge, you need to combo, you need to stun, you need to use, for example, the Sandman fight. You need to use this weapon to weaken him before you can fight him. Things like that make the game so much more interesting. It's more than just hack and slash, and I would definitely recommend this to any Marvel fans. But that's all we've got time for in this episode. Like I said, click on this button here for the gameplay video, and I will be bringing you the rest of the gameplay probably once or twice a week just to feed it out as we go. If you have any other ideas or anything else you'd like to see, maybe tips, tricks, anything else, let me know in the comments. But until next time,